Hey, welcome back to another episode. Today, I just want to talk about um, shifting into your next version of yourself. And we are on to a new year, and that's just full of new opportunities, right? And I think so many of us, sometimes we carry baggage over from our previous year and it spills over into the new year. And I'm just here to tell you, like, that happens. It happens to the best of us. But here's ways that you can shift your perspective so that you don't end up with the same results that you had the year previous. First, it really is about perspective. It's about your mindset and your mindset specifically going into the situation. And so, um, as life unfolds outward in everything around you, it's going to bring challenges. It's going to bring things that maybe you want or don't want, right? Like it's going to just bring these things to light, and you have to sift through them. And so, how do we sift through them? Like, what do we do to be able to expand and grow ourselves into a better person, but also work through what's happening right around us in our world around us. And so, a lot of things that I learned in 2024 um, was that your perspective is so powerful and important. And if you're denying yourself of a healthier perspective, it can really be challenging to see the good in everything. It can really be challenging to push through the muck, to push through to the hard stuff. And so something for me that I really had to work on is looking at things from different angles and sifting through them and deciding, first of all, are they worth my energy? I think that's the most important thing to acknowledge is it worth my energy? Is this something that is going to matter in, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years? Is this something that's going to not just impact myself or others in a healthier way? Is this something that is going to allow expansion in my life or in my goals and dreams? Um, these are things that I really thought about as I was sifting through things. And really, what are you giving your focus to? So I'm going to be 100% honest. There has been so much life happening on my end of the world that sometimes you can get distracted, right? You can get easily distracted by where you're headed and what you're doing and the plans that you make. But the beautiful part about this life is that all you have to do is just get right back on that road to travel to where you want to go, to your destination. And sometimes pivoting is part of the process. I did a lot of pivoting in my personal and my professional life in 2024, and I'm doing a lot of it now. And I feel like it's just a constant thing that we do or we should be doing. It's part of the sifting process of going through and deciding what's for us and what's not for us. And maybe it's not for us now, but it could be for us later. It doesn't mean it's completely off the table. But part of that process is really just recognizing what is in my control. Like, what do I have control over? First of all, you have control over of how you think about things. And so, what are your thoughts telling you? What are you speaking life over and thinking life would look like? And are you focused on things that are going wrong, or are you focused on the things that are going right? Are you focused on what's good for you, or are you focusing on the negative stuff around you? It really does play a role in your day to day. It plays a role in also your future. And so it's a ripple effect. I tell everybody it's a ripple effect. And so if you are negative Nancy, you can guarantee that everybody around you is going to be as well, because it's a that ripple effect. It's constantly, energy matches energy. And so those around you you're going to naturally attract whatever it is you're putting out. And so if you're putting out slurs or things that just aren't going right, and you're constantly complaining, or you're constantly in this rut of just depression and anxiety, you're going to have a lot of that around you. Or you're going to have a lot of people that are just not really going to want to be around that. And so, just speaking from personal experience, we can be our own worst critics. We can be our own worst critics, and we can literally attract all the things that we don't want. And usually it's because we're complaining and we're saying how much we don't like it and how much we don't want it. But see, the universe only knows yes. So if we're doing that and then all these things keep happening and we're like, what? Why does it keep happening? I have more keep happening, blah, 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 blah. It just keeps attracting more and more and more. And so I had I had started a practice of asking myself, what is going so good in my life? And I think that is a really powerful statement when you can wake up and when you're having a hard time or you're going through something that's an obstacle, you can pause for a minute and ask yourself, what is going so good in my life? And get that answer from the, just you'll be able to, like you can just start thinking about the things that are going good in your life. And then things are shown to you, and more good is coming because you're asking that answer about what is going so good in my life. And I think that is just such a healthy practice for us to begin and to just acknowledge the good. And it's not ignoring or brushing away what's not going well. It's not like shutting all that stuff off and not dealing with it. But it's just shifting your perspective to where it needs to be and where your emotions can attach to those so that you can attract what it is you want. When when your emotions are hypersensitive and it only takes 17 seconds for you to emotionalize something. So if you're watching something that's negative and in 17 seconds you've emotionalized that, sometimes we become a little negative afterwards and we wonder why. It's because we've emotionalized it. Okay, I'm no expert. I've just practiced this, and through practice I've learned so much, and I just love sharing it. But for me, I was always told I was an emotional creature, right? I was always told how I need to turn off my emotions. So I did that for a long time. And guess what? It made me really bitter and upset and angry. And like all the negative emotions came out when I bottled up all the emotions and didn't express myself. And what I had to learn is that my emotions are such a high gift. Like it's such a big faculty. It's like it's one of our highest faculties we can have, but it's such a beautiful blessing and one of the best gifts that like God can give you. And why wouldn't I want that gift from him, right? And so I had to learn how to have some self-control and really learn my emotions. And so I had to do a lot of quiet talking with myself. I had to do a lot of inner breathing, a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, a lot of journaling. And this is just for me. Everybody's different. But I had to do a lot of that to really open up those emotions again and to really start asking myself what is it that I want. And I think when we're asking ourselves what is going so good and what is it that I want, we start feeling that imagination again. We start feeling the heart again with things that are good for us. And when you're asking what it is I want, remember to ask for very crystal clear what exactly that you want and make sure it's positive. If there's something that you don't want, think of a phrase and a way that you can say it that's in a healthy way. So, for example, if you're saying, I don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore, I can promise you, if you're saying that, you will not quit because all the universe hears is smoke cigarettes anymore, right? Smoke cigarettes. All they hear is smoke cigarettes. That's it. It's all the universe hears. Whereas if you're saying, I am I'm a healthy person who no longer smokes cigarettes and who has healthy lungs that she can breathe out such fresh air and she can take such big breaths. She's so healthy. I'm such a healthy person. My lungs are so clear. I I have healthier habits in my life today. And you start speaking over the things that it is that you want. Don't even talk about those cigarettes, but talk about the results you're going to get when you don't have those. Start thinking of yourself not even having those even in a thought. They're not even in your thought. They are not even there. Your focus is how healthy you're going to feel, how good you're going to feel, how clear your lungs are going to be, how much you're going to breathe easier. That's the stuff that will attract those things that you want, because pretty soon you're going to have that burning desire to have those things, and you're going to want to practice what it feels like to have clear lungs, which means no smoking cigarettes. But it's a willpower, and we all have that willpower, but it's tapping in and turning it on and finding the belief in yourself. And so it comes with how we speak to ourselves, how we think about ourselves, what we're saying, what our daily dialogue is saying to ourselves. And how we speak to others is just as important as how we speak to ourselves, because the universe doesn't choose whether you're talking to yourself or someone else. And so you've got to keep that in mind, is that you're speaking life or death over things. And so how are you speaking to yourself is first and foremost the first thing you need to acknowledge. And you can change that by just every time you catch yourself saying something that you is not healthy or that's negative, you just switch it with 2 to 5 words, 3 to 5 words that are the opposite of what you said. So if you're saying you're ugly, you're now going to say how beautiful you are. And so it sounds so silly, because I know when I first started trying it, gosh, a little over 5 years ago, I felt so silly, but it does work. It does change your perspective. It shifts you, and we have to start somewhere. Let's be honest. And then the other thing that I want you to kind of like, I don't know, like start thinking about, I was just thinking about this the other day that really came to my mind. Are you doing the simple things in life that bring such joy and gratitude? And for me, that's like opening a door for someone. That's offering a ride to a neighbor. It's taking somebody a meal that is maybe they live alone, and you're giving them, a meal. Um, Maybe it's sending somebody a nice card, or calling somebody. I literally just spent about an hour on the phone with one of my clients slash friend. She, and I just connected, and she invited me to hear her testimony, and I'm just like so excited for that. And I'm just so excited for her, right? Like how amazing. And and so like I think about these things, and I picture myself just at my best and highest potential today, whereas used to I wouldn't even acknowledge that. And so what shifts do you want to make for 2025 that can catapult you into a whole new life, like a whole entire new life that you never even thought existed? It begins with what you're saying to yourself. It begins with what you're thinking about yourself. It begins with um, how you're seeing your version of your world. And so um, it's definitely something that is work. It's a work in progress. It's not something that you're going to shift and change overnight. I'm literally 5 years in the making, and still every single day I learn something new. Every single day I'm learning a new challenge about myself, a new obstacle to overcome, something that I didn't know was there, a habit that I would really love to change and create a healthier version of. Like these are just part of growth. These are part of the process. And when you get to the finish line, it doesn't end. And I think that's what a lot of people get so caught up in. When I get to this place, I'll do this. But you don't understand is that there is no end date on your dreams and your goals. Like you continue to work on them, you're finding a new one all the time. Like don't be afraid to challenge yourself and try something that's out of the box or that is scary. If it feels right and you know it's from God and it feels good, then you know it is. And that is your opportunity to get out of your comfort zone and just go for it. Maybe there's something that you have really, really want to do, but you've just been so afraid. Well, you have an opportunity, and if it's coming to you and it continues to show up, and that just means it's meant for you to try. And so like it's things like that that I used to take for granted, but now that I've shifted my perspective and I speak better to myself and to others, I can see more opportunity. I can feel more opportunity. I get more opportunities to be able to share my talents or be able to just share what I've experienced. And so I just love the fact that that is something that's possible. You're talking to somebody who didn't believe it was possible. And for me to be able to tell you today that that is something that we can all have is just so incredible. And so I hope this helps you find the lightness, the light as you're exploring the darkness, because I know we all have both. Just know that we are better servants and we are better people when we are in the light. And so, if you're sitting in the dark today, I hope that this can help you find the light. Have a great day and share this with somebody you love.